Hello, hello. We're gonna got about 4 minutes before we get started. Just a couple of minutes to go. We'll start at 12. Well, 12 my time. Two minutes. One minute. Whoa. All right, let's start. Hi, my name is Evan Sparks. I'm the developer of Grist, a ASCII synthwave sci-fi RPG, and I'm going to be just running through a couple of plays of the game today and giving some commentary as I go. So we're going to start with a new game. So we're going to pick a scenario. In the full release, there will be multiple scenarios. You can think of it like a board game or something where you're playing different missions essentially, but a scenario could be multiple missions and have a particular kind of goal. In the world of Grist, these might take place at different times throughout the history of this world. So in any case, let's pick this one here. And we have the option to choose our background as a pilot of a starship. So we're going to start with a military background to begin with. We'll have a look at the other one later. So this is us, military pilot. You learnt to fly as a pilot in the armed forces. Afterwards, you became a contract killer, taking on jobs until you amassed a crew and a fortune of your own, enough to buy a starship and begin a new life doing whatever you please. So that's us. We start with a couple of items that are going to be useful when it comes to traveling through space. These can repair our hull, and ablative plating is shields that will absorb any damage that's been done to our starship, or a number of points worth of damage. Now, each background starts with a sort of a set crew. Set, so their occupation of these are essentially classes of your heroes in your party. These are going to be fixed, but the actual characters that take those roles are randomly generated and can be re-rolled. So they have randomly generated names, personalities, and origins. I'm going to go more into this later, but just to cover it quickly now, a personality primarily defines how a character chooses targets. So when it gets to combat, you'll see that there is kind of an auto targeting going on at times, and the personality then is used to determine. So efficient is always, I believe, the person they're going to target, the one that's most likely to die. I need to actually check these myself. Focused chooses a target and stays on it, or targets whoever's directly in front of them, I believe. Origins, and then origins are kind of like a sort of a perk. So in this case, they can provide the bonuses derived from the origin. So strength +2, ignoring 0 Gs, int +2. These are derived from the origins. We can, if we don't like these, we can re-roll the crew, and we can do that as many times as we want. This is not a bad roll here, because the medic origin provides the guardian with a first aid ability. That they're kind of our tank and / healer, so having first aid adds a bit of extra healing. And this trust boost up on the sniper, even though it's counteracted by a trust down there, is going to come in handy. So without going too much into it, trust is the resource or the sort of currency you use to play orders, which are the special moves in the game. It'll make sense once we get to some combat. So we're just really going to jump in now and see how we go. So I'll start that. The character's name is randomly generated. It's not in the demo. You can put your own name in there. The UI was pretty clunky, so for the moment, for the demo, it's not enabled, but we'll probably have that back in pretty soon. So I'm just going to accept that. Captain Youngblood sounds pretty cool, actually. So, in this scenario, we are captain of a starship, and we are answering the call. Ancient technology has sent out a signal. It's been detected, and we are heading there in sort of a race to be the first person to get there and claim this technology or answer the message. So, got a bit of tutorial stuff going on here. It's just telling us what happens with these various windows. This is the log window down here, and that's going to tell us what's happening in the game. Actions window is for choosing our actions, and the orders window over here is kind of what abilities we currently have to choose from. So let's get going. So crew-leader commander, touching down on Kuala 3, confirming target is the archaeological dig located approximately 5 minutes from here. The global presence in the sector is heavy and comms channels have been cut off. Let's go take a look. So let's continue. So the way a mission works is essentially a series of events. You can imagine them being like a deck of cards, and we're pulling the top card off each time. Every time we advance, that's pulling the top card off, and there's going to be some kind of event. In this case, we've got a basic combat happening against these two pretty weak enemies here, these sort of standard gobloids. So this is the order box down here. Please select an order from the orders window. So when you select one, it does explain what it does. The UI for that can be improved. We are continually sort of working on all that stuff, but for the moment we can pick one, and we're going to pick, say, // and it will tell us what it does. So we'll go with that, 2 melee attacks on a single target. Critical rate is increased, and then we're allowed to pick a target here. So the double slash, you can see it's got a little name here, Sanford, and a number 2. And there's a little symbol, we'll get to that in a minute. Sanford refers to who's going to execute this order. So when I play this double slash card, essentially, it's going to be Sanford that does it. And it's going to cost me 2 of this trust resource. So the points have already been taken off. Our trust was 5 to begin with. It's taken them out there. Without going into too much detail, it's kind of, there's a deck building element to the whole game. So if you imagine a classic RPG party, which we sort of have here, we have a kind of a tank guy and a DPS character and it's sort of got 2 DPSs here. Look, it gets a bit fuzzy. I'm not really, I don't want to maintain the tank healer DPS hierarchy, so a triangle, so we're trying to move outside of that. But we've got these 3 characters in the party. Each character comes with a set of cards. They only start with a few, maybe 3 or 4 to begin with, but as they level up, they gain more cards of different kinds. They get seconds of existing cards, like duplicates. And then when you go on a mission, all their cards are pulled together and shuffled to make a deck. So let's play this order now. In any case, we're going to play double slash, choose from our hand of 5, we'll play it. So it's just kind of covering what I said there. Each order costs a certain amount of trust, and after being played, it's going to move into this discard pile down here. They will generally stay there. Under certain circumstances, there is, then the ability to rifle through the discard, pull cards back out, or burn cards into the discard in exchange for other bonuses and so on. So, but in general, once they're in there for the duration of the mission. So, and then a crew member that is not given an order will perform a basic attack. So that's just going to start the round now. Say begin round. Sanford's got this move queued up. It's got a little icon next to its name here, some wavy lines, and that just means that that move is slow, and that means it will happen at the end of the round. Star means instant, happens before everything else. No icon, happens normally. So let's just begin the round. There we go. So we played our cards, the enemies had their goes, then our slow attack went, and auto attacks will go at the end, in fact, so then they out. So that was pretty easy, just a couple of little bad guys. So this is just talking about how many events essentially are left in the mission. So you can see here it says 4, we know that there's basically 4 more cards we need to draw off to finish this mission. And there'll be different kinds of things. Their combat, their skill tests. This one here is kind of a multiple choice. So we can choose to investigate this crashed ship or search the campsite. So I am going to search the campsite. Alright, there's a rolled vehicle here into a fire. It looks like they were transporting artifacts. Undamaged crates in the back could contain valuables. Underneath come shouts of civilians still trapped inside the vehicle. We don't have time to both unload and rescue them. What should we do? So we have a choice now. If we can free the trapped civilian or simply take what's in the back of the vehicle. So if we had more chat, I'd say chat, your choice. But there's only a couple there. So we might go for the moment with freeing the civilian. Oh, I've messed up. Hang on. The text speed. I thought something was funny about that. Okay, that should fix that. Oh, no, that needs to go back to buffer. I've set the text too fast, so it hasn't been scrolling. So, investigating the campsite. The team set to work lifting the vehicle off the civilian. Power arm strains against the weight, but the last day able to pull the civilian free. So the truck explodes. We gain some reputation for rescuing this person, and they offer us a prize in exchange. These explosive charges. So it's saying who's going to take this. This will give us an order that we can use in combat. It's going to go straight into our hand. I'm going to give it to the Guardian up there. So we'll say great, and we can see down here explosive charges has gone straight into our hand, and we can use that in combat now. So this next event has something that's called Dust Storm. Clouds on the horizon, dust storm incoming. The swirling wind will make it difficult to aim at your targets. And this means that ranged characters are going to have to actually roll to hit. Normally, when you attack in Grist, hitting is automatic. So if you think of Dungeons and Dragons and you attack, you roll to hit, you roll a d20, you roll above a number, you hit. And what that means is that you can get into situations where you just roll bad, you miss a lot of rolls. It's not very exciting, or maybe even sort of not very interesting to me sometimes. I don't mind it, but I wanted to do a different kind of system. So in Grist, attacks automatically hit unless there are extenuating circumstances. So unless there is something like a dust storm that debuffs your ability to hit the character, or if the target has some kind of buff that causes them to dodge or deflect. So in this case, we are sort of temporarily debuffed, and the same goes for enemies too. These dust storms and other things are universal. They apply to every actor in the scene. So enemies shooting us are going to find it just as hard as us shooting them. On the plus side, melee characters are not affected by dust storms, so we can still rely on our fencer here to be getting those hits in. And there are sometimes abilities like the sniper's bullseye ability, which they gain at level 2, I think, is a guaranteed hit. So regardless of circumstances, it just says, no, I don't have to roll to hit, and will hit. Okay, so let's move on. We've got a sort of a mini boss fight here. The war machine is pretty easy, but you can get yourself into a bit of a situation if you're not doing too much stuff. So first thing we want to do is I'm going to drop some shields down. Oh, we've got the explosive charges. We might just hold them back for a moment. Sometimes the war machines will spawn little gobloids, and it's handy to have the explosive charges if a few do arrive. So for the moment, we're going to just play this through line order, which is a shot from the sniper. Our fencer and our guardian will automatically attack, and we'll just let that go. So our hits got through, that's great. Fantastic. And the war machine as it's going. Ouch. Okay, so handy. The one of those attacks missed. The one on the sniper actually missed thanks to the dust storm, whereas the one on the guardian was in fact a critical hit. When you take criticals in this, there is a damage table that it rolls on for conditions. You don't always gain a condition, but there is a chance. So in this case, the Guardian here has gained the hemorrhage condition, which is a bleed out per round. So let's just continue. I think we should wipe this guy out now. So we're just going to drop in explosive charges. So it's going to cost us 4 trust. If I wanted to cancel something that's queued up, I can just click on it here, choose to cancel or not. I'm going to say I don't want to cancel. And then you see, because it's Stoddard, the Guardian, playing these charges, if I wanted to use another of his abilities, like Repair Swarm, it's going to say it's already queued up. Can't do that. So that's fine. We're just going to let that go. See how we go. All right, very easy. Okay, so we've got a little last final event here. This is sort of the end of the mission. So we found something. We found this holographic tablet here. And as we're about to leave, there's a sound. So somebody's trapped inside a collapsed tunnel. And we get the opportunity to free them by conducting a skill test. If you play D&D or any kind of game books or something like that, you'll be familiar with this kind of thing. We need to roll some dice, we need to hit a particular number or higher. So in this case, we're rolling D6s and we're looking for a roll of 5 or better on that D6. Where it says here ×1, sometimes on a test you might need multiple successes, or there might be better or worse outcomes depending how many you get. So for the moment, we want to pick the character with the most stars. That's the most. Every star is basically a D6 they're going to get to roll. And it's got a little bit of tutorial. So when you do a skill test, they're generally covered by some kind of attribute: strength, determination, perception. And you can boost your chances by essentially discarding cards from your hand to gain extra dice rolls. So in this case, I know it's the last event of the mission. I can just discard a bunch of them. That's fine. I don't need to worry about them. If I was in the middle of a mission, I might then have to think, do I want to use this card for an extra die roll, or do I want to use it in combat or something later on? And if you have a card that does match, like the card's sort of stat matches the stat of the test, then you can get guaranteed successes, which is pretty good. But, this is going to give me then 3 stars they had to begin with, so a strength of 3 plus 3 cards is going to give us 6 dice. You just need to roll 5 or better. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, well. Alright, so we made it. We got a success. Because they got a successful skill test, they actually gained an XP point, which at this stage levels up, so that's very nice. We've got a little strength boost and some extra HP. Those cards get removed from the gang for the moment. Okay, and so we've freed this engineer from the collapsed cave. And since the planet is being evacuated, they offer to join the crew. So this character, Compton, has joined the crew. Now we have an engineer that we can take out on missions if we need to. Oh, one final go for hemorrhaging. Alright, end of the mission, so everyone gains a little bit of XP. And that's it. That is our mission. So now we're back to, this is essentially our ship screen. Yes, we can manage the crew, use items, and have a look for another mission to do. So this is just sort of the end of mission story. Aboard the stormy chauffeur of Sequence, the holographic tablet springs to life. Images leap from it, an expansionist relic of the first millennium, the type called a network node. Part of an early galactic communications network, the network nodes were vast repositories of information and even supposedly sentient themselves. Many were destroyed in the Thousand-Year War, and an intact node is priceless. In the images, a gobloid crew approach a node floating freely in space, shouting to each other as they decelerate. The view jolts as they touch down on the surface of it, unslinging cables and swiftly plugging into the node's interfaces. Access lights are turning green as the camera shifts suddenly. There is something else on the node with them, a blurry, protozoic shape, difficult to make out. It moves, then there are screams and the vision ends. Data follows next, security protocols and access codes. Finally, coordinates for a star system less than a decade away. A find like this could set you up for centuries and may even help with finding a cure for the terrible plague that clings to you. You plot the coordinates to the node. Whatever thing was protecting it would have to be dealt with. You have the intervening years to prepare for this task. Okay, so that's the basic outline of this scenario. Is we are heading for a ancient technology. We're trying to find it sort of first before anyone else does. We know that there's something there that we're going to have to deal with. So on the way, we want to be leveling up our characters, increasing their capabilities, But we're also trying to stay alive. So we, as captain of the ship, we have been infected with a cybernetic plague, and this little plague counter will increase through play, and we need to kind of mitigate that as we go along. So sometimes when we're taking missions, we're thinking, is this going to make my crew stronger? And other times when we're taking them, we're thinking, how can this help me as the captain or as the ship survive for longer? This is our cargo window down here, so items that we get are going to go down here, and we can use them from here just by clicking on them. So we started with this ablative plating. That's going to fill our shields bar up, and that means when we travel from place to place in space, if we get hit by a meteorite or something traveling, the shields will absorb that. So we're just going to equip that now. Great. We can visit stations. We'll get into that in a minute. We'll just have a quick look at the roster. So this is our crew here: Guardian, Fencer, Sniper, and the Engineer that we picked up. So let's have a look at the Engineer. It gives us some information about them. Their origin is the Aristocrat origin, which gives them a +2 to intelligence, which is pretty good for Engineer, actually. That's pretty handy for them. They're kind of an int class, so that's good. We could equip items. We don't have any right now, and we can kind of have a look at their cards. So we can see Laserbot constructs a mobile droid, requires an empty formation slot. We'll get into formations in a minute. These are our other crew. So let's just jump out of there for a sec, and now we're going to go pick a new mission. So this is essentially the world map, and we can see what missions are coming up next. This is us here, that's our ship, and we've got a choice of these two destinations. We can see at a glance they're both 1-star missions, so everything in Grist kind of has a star rating. This is just going to tell us the difficulty of this mission, roughly. And we kind of have 1 and 2-star crew, so a 1-star mission is suitable. And just immediately looking at this, I can see straight up that the reward for this mission is something called Pandar Mold. And Pandar Mold is the only thing that's going to really help us deal with the plague. So as the plague spreads through us while we're traveling, we want to be collecting some of this stuff to take it as its medicine, essentially. So we're just going to say, yes, let's do that mission. Let's say Nightmare Incursion. Okay. Okay, not too bad. So while traveling, one of the stasis pods malfunctions, and Dorothea Sanford is unprotected from the passing of time. I'm not going to get too much into it now, but your characters do age as the game goes along. So they can kind of age out of usefulness, unfortunately. They will gain penalties to some of their stats as they get older. It's true, it happened to me. So let's have a look here. This is where we are. We've got the planet, type of planet, which can clue us into what kind of events we're going to encounter on the planet. A barren planet usually sort of has rocky type events. We're not going to have underwater events here, for example, or I don't think dust storm will happen. And we can see over here it's an exploration mission, which is kind of just draws a bunch of events mostly derived from the planetary type. We are just exploring the planet. The reward is Pandar Mold. This here is a mission modifier. There isn't always a modifier. There could be multiple. In this case, Nightmare Incursion means that the planet is infested with what's called nightmares. Without going too much into the lore of the game, as well as the cybernetic plague that is sweeping the universe, possibly or possibly not related to them, I don't want to spoil things, is this idea of called nightmares. And nightmares are the hideous sort of tentacle beasts that lurk behind the fabric of all things. We don't know where they've come from or if they have a goal, but they are sort of indiscriminately deadly. Probably related to the plague in some manner. So we're going to start by deploying the crew. So this is the deploy screen. It's a bit messy. We're going to circle back and revisit this at some point. But this shape here, this is called the formation. And one of the design goals for Grist was to bring spatial elements into a turn-based RPG, into essentially JRPG combat. Let's do JRPG, Final Fantasy 4 or 3 even, we're not doing active time, so Final Fantasy 3 style combat, but with positioning. It was kind of part of the original brief. So the way positioning works in this is that every team of characters is placed into this 3x2 grid, and each cell on the grid can have associated buffs or debuffs. In this case, ranged attacks get a buff. They get just a small buff from being in the back line, whereas the tank is actually a ranged character. They're gaining a debuff from being in the front line, so range is not so good in the front. On the plus side, this character, when they level up enough, they'll gain passive abilities that will begin protecting whoever's in the same row or in the same column as them. So there's kind of advantages and disadvantages to where you put each character in the formation in terms of buffs, debuffs, interactions with other characters. For example, the Fencer has abilities that can respond to attacks on adjacent characters. So a great combo is to put the Fencer adjacent to a tank, and then the tank or the Guardian to use their Taunt ability and draw attacks. And then suddenly they're drawing all the attacks, they're shielded, they're, protected from stuff. But the Fencer is in essentially a kind of Overwatch mode and is just hitting back at everything that's attacking it, getting free attacks all over the place. So that's the kind of stuff we're looking for when you're playing it. And as a designer, is to look for interactions and to find they're not really exploits because they're meant to be there, but they are the way you want to, improve your odds of surviving everything in the game. So at the moment, everything's looking pretty good. If I wanted to bring the engineer in for now, I could just click on them and drop them in somewhere to replace the sniper. For the engineer, I'd probably put them in the middle here somewhere, and that way their orders tend to be about spawning allies. So they're like a pet class, and their pets, if they're ranged, this leaves open 2 slots to drop ranged pets or ranged summons into the back line, so they can get a little bit of a buff. But we'll just stick with the sniper for the moment, I think. Guardian, Fencer, Sniper, everything's looking pretty good. Just leave it like that, and we're going to jump onto the mission. Where you expected to clash with your enemy lies only wreckage, blood, bone and brain spattered by some great combat. The unexpected scene causes much confusion until the team locates the already liquefying remains of a spiked pseudopod. The nightmare has reached here before you. So, that's just cluing us in that the nightmare incursion is active for this mission. And you'll see what that means once we get to some combat. At the moment we've got a test, so someone's being trapped by an earthquake, and we are going to attempt to get them out with a strength test. Oh no! Alright, so he took a bit of damage. They took a bit of damage. Fair enough. Not too bad. Alright, so yeah, like I said, barren planets, you tend to have a lot of things like this. You have earthquakes, you have rock falls. So we want to choose something with a lot of perception. We might just choose our flare. So we're going to discard a flare to get an automatic success here. That little tick means automatic success. Great. And as before, they gained an XP from passing the test, so that's always handy too. Now we've got some combat. So I'm going to start by, what have I got? 5 trust. So that's enough to pull a double slash down, and we're going to drop a reinforce on the Guardian. So that's going to reduce incoming damage on them for the next few rounds by about 50%. So So this is what the Nightmare Incursion does. When you kill an enemy and there's a Nightmare Incursion active, there is a chance that they will spawn into a Nightmare Beast. It's not going to happen every time, and there is a limit to how many times it can happen, so you don't end up just killing nightmares to spawn more nightmares everywhere. Okay. So, we've killed some gobloids, and in exchange we've had some nightmares spawn. Talking about the spatial stuff for a minute, because they're both in the same row here, it's a really great opportunity to use the through line order that belongs to the sniper. So I've got some trust back before. I've got 2 trust. That's just enough to play a through line. Penetrating shot that deals damage to all enemies. So great. Just drop that on there. As before, so it should go. The enemies will have their go, and then the through line's going to activate. Go. Okay, one little thing left. I've got a parry. I'm not going to drop a parry right now because I'm not certain that it's going to use, but it's a great way for fences to avoid damage. Everyone's got some kind of way to mitigate damage. The Guardian can reinforce their shields. Fences can deflect with parries. The snipers have this ability to kind of duck out of the formation for a round, so they'll just disappear for a round and then will actually reappear in a different position. For the moment, since there's only one left, I'm pretty confident I can take him out. Now, the order of attacks I'll just talk about for a second, because it is deterministic in the sense that essentially enemies go first. Enemies get a chance to do their auto attacks first, then you have your attacks. That's the basics of it. Enemies first, then player. As you play orders and as the enemies play orders, that changes for each individual unit how that works. So if I played, if I had an attack here with no symbol against it, or just for example over here a taunt, that's actually going to go off before the enemies get to do anything. It's just once the round starts, those orders will play immediately. If they have the wavy lines, they'll play after the enemy's attack. But I don't need to play any of those for now, so I'm just going to pick it around. So there we go. The enemy actually got their attack first because I didn't do anything particular. He was shielded by the reinforced card I played. We have another nightmare. I think that's probably going to be it for our nightmares. There we go. Nightmare Incursion is discarded, so we know that event is basically over now. They're not going to spawn anymore, so we can be pretty confident. Ouch. With something like Hemorrhage, the way it works is for a number of rounds they'll take bleed damage. They kind of roll for damage, and if they roll a 6, they will take 6 points, and then the bleed will stop immediately. Otherwise it proceeds for, I think off the top of my head, 3 rounds, and then we'll heal. Or if you heal them, it will similarly sort of stop immediately. We can look at healing just briefly if we want. So everyone's taken a bit of damage. So this Repair Swarm ability here, it belongs to Stoddard, the Guardian, so they're tanks and healers, and it has the star icon. So the star icon means it's an instant ability, which means that it happens before combat begins. And that's really cool because you can play an instant ability and then still get your auto attack, or still play another order afterwards, if provided that you have the trust, which I won't at this point. Sort of cool. But I'm going to drop that now. Repair Swarm. This is a cloud of repair drones to restore HP to all team members. So yes. And so that's removed the hemorrhage and restored 10 hit points to everybody. And with that done, I might drop a parry. I've got 1 trust left. We'll drop that parry out and we'll see if anyone attacks Sanford for this next round. The parry will go off. So go. There we go. So I need a better animation for that, but it did actually work. They both went to attack the fencer and had their attacks reflected for a percentage of damage. Yeah, I probably need to do a... So sometimes it does betray. The Grist actually began as a console application that ran on the Windows command line, and nothing was animated, and there are a few little abilities still that I need to circle back and add some animation in for, which will happen. Everything just takes time, doesn't it? So what do we got? 1 gobloid left. How many events? 2 events left. So here, like I was saying, if they don't have a symbol, they're going to happen at the start of the round. So this flinch, melee attack with a chance to stun. Drop that there and say go. There we go, straight up. Critical hit, fantastic. Done. Alright, so we have another rockfall thing. Who's got the best perception? Roll 5 or better. 1 success. Right, I'm going to hang on to these cards because these are our last 3 orders. So if there's a combat coming up, we might need them. Great. Passed anyway. Got the XP. Fantastic. Okay, so here we have something different for a change. We have Gobloid Commander, and they have 2 wargs with them. So I might drop the taunt on the tank, so any attacks are going to get drawn over to the tank there. So the wargs, they use these fear moves, which when they're active will reduce your outgoing damage. Now the commanders can heal, but they're still pretty weak at a 1-star level, so don't need to first aid anyone. Okay. Done and done. Okay, so you can see now we're starting to learn some new abilities. Bullseye is a new sort of, powerful attack. And we gained some Panda mold. Fantastic. So we'll have a look at our star map and see what we've got here. So we've got some new jobs, another explore with some mold, or a pirate outpost. Now, let's just jump back here for a minute. The other thing we can do is we can essentially visit stations. So there's a few things we can do when we visit a station. We can sell stuff. Eventually you will be able to buy stuff. I just haven't written all of that yet, but that's sort of on the plans. Or you can explore and have encounters at the station itself, sort of role-playing style encounters. So we're going to have a look and see what's up here. So somebody, yes, we'll say let's talk to this guy. Offering a star map for sale leads to a weapons cache of great value. The asking price is 3,000 grist. That's fine. I'm not going to bother bartering for the moment. We've got plenty of cash. And that's actually given us a new mission to go to. So, investigate, locate the cache at this pirate outpost. So let's just say yes. And this will hopefully... Oops. So there we go. Our ablative plating absorbed that impact there. There we go. So, mission type, locate the cache. Good, and I think we're happy with that. So it's another kind of nightmare one. Okay, a recent battlefield. The scars still fresh. A litter of bodies battered, bruised and torn forms a ring around a vacuum-rated supply crate. The titanium door has been ripped off the hinges. From the crate drips a thick purple ichor. Coming closer, the flow intensifies, pooling into a bubbling mass. Oh, there we go. Nightmare slurry. I should put a pause in there. Fair enough. I'll write that down. Can we go back? There we go. There we go. A bubbling mass of nightmares. In the center of the pool, a vast maw opens, rippling with teeth and surrounded by quivering pseudopods. So we've got this kind of surprise mini boss thing. All right, so we're just gonna drop some attacks on this straight away. Get a we don't know. Do we have enough trust? We do. Just. We're gonna need to get some extra trust points from somewhere too. Really, I think we should be getting some of them as we level up. Otherwise, I'll have to see. So, ooh. Okay, not a good start for us. It's thrown up on us and it's dropped a bleed effect. Oh no, on our fencer. This is not good. All right, what do we got? What do we got? A through line. Through line's gonna be good because it's actually quite big, and when they're big enemies, they take up multiple slots, which means a through line is gonna hit it twice, which we love. So let's just go with that. Ah, of course it does. I think our fencer is oh, there we go, fantastic. Yeah, he's pretty much dead for. Dead for? Done for? Ah. Corridor. For this particular test, it's kind of just a multiple choice. I wanted to do something with kind of a procedural generation thing, so that for each run of the game that you do, the skull, heart, and diamond corridors will be the same. So if I choose skull and I get a particular outcome later on in this mission or this run, if I choose skull again, I will get the same outcome. But you sort of have to learn them, and when you start a new game, that's randomized again. So let's just go with heart. Why not? Ah, of course. Pirates, cravens. This is going very bad. I'm going to drop an over here on the Guardian. I'm not sure that's a really good idea either. I don't have enough ability to do anything else. Fantastic. So we've kind of... I mean, my fence is dead anyway. That's just happening. As soon as the... So this was a poor choice, possibly, coming to this mission on my behalf. Oh, goodbye. We'll see how we go from now on. So, one thing I haven't really covered is the way melee attacks work. And the way that works is a character can only perform melee attacks on the frontmost target of each row. So while the fencer was there, no melee attacks could be done to the sniper. But now the fencer has died, this does leave the sniper open to all that kind of... And there's my repair swarm that I needed. I'm just going to start round because I need to get some trust back. So I'm just going to hopefully survive a round or two. I've got six events left here. Not good. Oh, that is not fair. Poor, very poor form. I was going to do a duck out. Okay. Yeah, this is not good now because the Guardians don't have a great deal of damage output, so really didn't make it very far into this one, did I? No. We are done for. Let's see how far we get. Look, on the plus side, if I had it on the plus side, the pros, if I had have succeeded at this mission, I probably would have got something quite good that I could have equipped to one of my characters. But, it may have been a tad early to have started looking at doing these kind of things, so... No. Yeah. I don't have enough really trust to do anything now. There we go. Goodbye. Oh, sad. Team destroyed. Mission failed. Okay, so what do we do at this point? As the captain, we're not dead. We're still alive. We've got one engineer left in our crew. What we're going to have to do is find the nearest space station and head there. So this kind of thing, I think I will probably give you more crew to start with soon enough. But for the moment, we can actually just head to a new station and we're going to go hire some people. Okay, I'm going to say hire crew. Okay, so we head to the bar. Hire, and this will give us a list of who's in the bar. So bodyguard, starting at 2 stars, aristocratic bodyguard. Why not? Let's just hire you, you're cheap. When you get to these big stations, you can just... kind of order a drink, which is lets our time pass and the available crew refresh. We might be adjusting that, but that's how it is for the moment. So let's just click through this text. We'll say hire another Guardian. Okay, so this one's starting in at 3-star. We can see they started with some extra cards. The mercenary origin is quite handy. It's going to start with second chance, which is we can go have a look at in a minute. Let's just check for more people. What else have we got? Come on. Fences. Just going to see if we can get some more 3 stars anyone wants to spawn. Yeah, ultimately there will probably be a limit on how many times you can kind of refresh this menu, but for now... let's just leave it at that then. We've got nothing to sell. Explore. I'm not going to bother with this now because it's just going to get us into another sticky situation, I reckon, if I take up a mission that way. So I've got some more crew now. Bodyguard, Guardian, Engineer. So that's great. So we can have a look at the star map. And... pirate outposts are brutal. I'm just going to skip that and try and get some XP here, get some more panda mold. Although it's looking like, there go our shields, so it's looking like we're going to need to be getting some more of that stuff soon. So we've got a desert planet this time, so we don't have to worry so much about rock events, that kind of stuff. We're just going to deploy crew. Right, so everyone died. We've got to set a new crew up. So, Guardian. We can put them top or bottom. It's really up to you. The Bodyguard is a melee class. We're just going to drop that in next to the Guardian. Similar how we had the other formation. But the Engineer, if you were listening earlier, you might have heard me mention that the Engineer is kind of a pet class. They summon bots. And we want to keep these slots free, these back row free, so that we can drop some ranged attack bots into that row. So that looks good enough. Hopefully the bodyguard and the guardian will kind of keep them protected. And here we go. Pirates. Exactly. Just what we wanted. Fantastic. We've got 5 events. Okay, let's start. So let's have a look. Pylon. Playing pylon. Single target melee attacks. Triggers also attacks in adjacent melee users. Yeah, unfortunately, tanks are ranged, so that's not going to trigger. If we had a fencer there, probably should have hired another fencer. We might do that at the end of this round and see how we go. For the moment, I will drop a repair bot down there. And let's just say go. We've got a lot of hit points. Now we're going to watch out here because the Pirate Craven has used the Sharpen ability, which is going to raise their critical rate. Not great. I'm going to drop a laser bot down there. And I've still got a bunch of trust left. I've actually got more now because I've got higher level characters and characters who started with higher amounts of trust. So my total trust points for the mission starts at a higher level. So I've got enough to spawn a laser bot and to drop this suppressing fire move down. So strikes all enemies in the first occupied column. So that's this column here. It's a guardian ability. It's going to strike here, and there's a 50% chance they'll be stunned. So that means his attack with raised critical will not happen if the stun goes off. So let's go. There's our suppressing fire. Killed him anyway. All good. No, repair bot. The bots are pretty low HP, but they're kind of handy in that they do act as a damage soak. Sometimes they will draw, they can sort of drawing attacks away from your other crew. So they do really serve multiple purposes. Will repair my bot if I drop a repair swap down. Why not? Oh no. Oh, yes. Yeah, there we go. Hooray. Good. Shove is quite a fun one. Shove is going to push this one back. So it basically does extra damage to whoever's behind them as well as damage to them. Like some things, it's sort of some work to do on the animations for some of these, but I generally start with the text first, and then I circle around and add some stuff there. Generally, doesn't always happen that way. Dust Storm, here we go. Okay, so these little fellas here, the Pirate Neuros, they have a Brain Blast ability, which can really lock us down if we're not careful. So what I'm going to do, I think we'll be alright. I think actually the bots won't get affected by it. So actually gaining XP for passing it, that's quite handy. I'm not sure I should be doing that. So if they'd failed, they would have been stunned for the round. They probably shouldn't be gaining XP there. It's generally supposed to be reserved for sort of formal skill tests. But look, I'm going to take that for the moment. Oh, the laser bot did get stunned. Yeah, that's pretty funny, actually. So that's our little stunned indicator. But one of them made it, everyone else made it. The Neuros are pretty low HP. They just kind of go early and can lock you down. So if you can survive that, then you are pretty good. I've only got 3 orders left over here. Eagles bulk up. Okay, so let's just go. I think the Neuros should be out of that move now. The way enemies work, they all have their own sort of AI deck. It's just a bunch of cards that tells them what to do. And there's only so many Brain Blast cards in that deck. Kind of prevents them from spamming the same ability over and over again. I'm out of coffee. Terrible. Advancing, a dark cloud seems to sit in over the party. Shadows appear to lengthen towards you. Strange voices give a hiss in the radio static between words. So this is going to impair our trust regeneration unless we can pass a test here. So let's just sacrifice a card. There we go. 1 success. As a result, for part. Oh no! What? I thought it was someone else who was bleeding. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, so our bodyguards learnt sort of his super move, Punch Drunk, which is a melee attack that does extra damage based on missing HP. So that kind of works in concert. They've got a card, the one I just sacrificed, Bulk Up, which kind of gives a temporary boost to their max HP. So if you can get them to lose a lot and get that max boost on, and then get a Punch Drunk out, you're pretty happy. I think that's the biggest single damage dealer in the game at the moment. Get a critical hit on that. Okay, I haven't done 100 damage in one hit yet, but I think 74 was the highest. Okay, so I'm in a bad way. I've lost more crew. I should have hired more in the first place. I'm not going to survive these pirate outposts with the current crew that I have, so I just need to jump to a station. The downside of heading to the stations is that it is getting me closer to the node, but without actually really improving my capabilities that much. I'm just kind of hanging in there right now, so let's go higher. If I can hire some 3-star characters, it'll be good, and I'm hoping there might be a sort of black market event or something similar. So let's have a look. What do we got? Oh, yes, here we go. Fencer, beautiful. Yes, I want a Fencer. Thank you. I'm going to hire a bunch of people because if I lose some, I don't want to have to come back to a station again. So I'm just going to really hire. Now, the downside of hiring a whole bunch of people like this is that every time you travel, you're going to have to pay higher numbers of wages. So that is something to think about. All right, that'll do. Any snipers? 2-star. I'll take it for the moment. Yeah, second chances are really good passive. If you see someone with second chance, it means when they go to 0 HP, they instead of dying the first time, they'll get a D6 HP back or whatever and stay alive. It's not a lot of HP, but it can mean the difference between them finishing the mission or not, or you beating the mission or not. All right, so we're going to jump out of here. We're going to do an explore. Another star map. This went bad for me last time. How bad can it go this time? Okay, investigate the cache. It's not a pirate station, so hopefully we're just dealing with gobloids because they're generally easier to kill than the pirates. Now we do have to be careful now because we're down to only a few points of hull left. Interestingly named sector. They are just randomly drawn from dictionary nouns, so I'll take it. I'm just gonna kind of sounding a bit ominous here. All right, we're gonna use this hull repair, restore 1 point of hull damage. Fantastic. All right, so we're good. And we're going to deploy. Okay, so we've got our... I'm going to pull that Guardian out because they are only 2 stars. And we had that Fencer. I should show their star ranking here. Like I say, it's a bit of work to do on this particular screen. But we'll drop in a Fencer there. And engineer, another engineer. Yeah, this one's a higher rank, so that's probably pretty good. Let's go. All right, yeah. So we've got the nightmare intro again. Fantastic, just what we wanted. So, here we go. The ring around vacuum rated splacker. The titanium door has been ripped off at the hinges. So, this event can go multiple ways, and the way it went before is that, yeah, we had that nightmare slurry come pouring out of it and poisoned everyone to death or whatever. So, not good this time. It's empty. So, fantastic. We get a chance to search the bodies around it. Yes, please. And we've got some panda mold. So, we're actually doing real good in terms of surviving the plague right now. We haven't had many plague events while traveling, which probably means they're coming up. So, your travels are interrupted by game smoking. Pirates. Okay, fantastic. So, we're going to start with a flinch. Drop a flinch on there. That's probably just going to get rid of him. Drop a repair bot down there. How much trust have we got left? Enough. Oh yeah, that's right, nightmares. So if they did roll testing determination 6, it's actually testing the character that died's determination. And if they rolled a 6, they pass, they don't become a nightmare. Okay. If we get all our nightmares done out of the way, that's not such a bad idea. I might. So I'm going to drop down this one here called Opportunist, and that is like parry, deflects attacks made on the fencer that uses it. Opportunist deflects attacks made on the bouncer, on their adjacent allies. Not good. No one's even attacking, but it does say hello. 2 hemorrhages is not good. That shouldn't work. I'm going to drop a first aid on them in the next round, which will clean those up. There we go. The repair bot cleaned them up for me. Thank you, repair bot. You are amazing. Now, unlike parry, which only lasts 1 round, I'll probably be changing that. Opportunist lasts, I think, for 3 rounds. So it's a pretty handy move. I'm going to drop a laser bot down here, and we're just going to double slash away on Nightmare Alpha down there. Pretty good, pretty good. Lovely. So we've got a dark miasma check. Let's see, can we beat this? We don't need the bulk on probably for now, so we'll drop that. Grab a success. There's some mythic artifacts we can sell. Swiftness check. This could be handy, so I'm going to sacrifice a card. Test swiftness. So we've detected someone on the scanner and we're hurrying to see who's there. This is an event sort of local to desert planets. The remains of a campsite. Whoever was here left in a hurry. There's equipment scattered all over the place. Perhaps something we could use. And we get some HP back. Alright, some neuros again. What have we got? Punch drunk is pretty slow. I'm going to drop a punch drunk. Why not? Drop another. Oh, not enough trust. Okay, let's go. Oh no, well, stunned. So he loses out the opportunity to play that card now. Probably should have used something that went earlier. Pile on or shove. And gotten in there before they could do their status attacks. Here we go. Easy peasy. Yeah, they're pretty weak, the neuros. It's just when they're in combination with other enemies, that's pretty nasty if they get in there and get a bunch of stuff happening. So what do we got here? We're just going to dump on this Technic. So because because he was next to the fencer got an extra little bonus attack there. All right. So we've reached the end of this mission. We found this weapons cache. Here stands the dark sarcophagus, as cold as the void between galaxies, and yet it emits a keening, almost inaudible at first, but growing ever stronger in your team's presence. It is impossible to know what traps might be placed upon this. Who will open it? Let's see. Who are we going to go with? We'll go with the fencer. Go on. Spears. It's the last event, so we're going to dump in everything for this roll. Go. Determination plus 5. Go. Oh, thank you. So they, reaching through the cold and the keening, the physical contents of the cache slips away, revealing content. Receive 1 times crooked claw. Fantastic. So, we've basically received a weapons upgrade that we can put on our fencer. Jump to roster, fencer. We're going to equip the crooked claw, a bent claw fashioned into a crude knife. It throbs with warmth, and once picked up, it can be difficult to set down again. Auto attacks restore HP. Equip this item, absolutely yes. Fantastic. So now our fencer has that. I'm hoping that we can. What do we got here? Assassinate, just pirate outpost. Bloody gauntlet. We do want that. Yes, we do. So we're going to go that way. Now, some of these, we can see there's extreme gravity there, which means that strength tests are at penalty. But assassination missions, we don't really encounter tests like that much, so it's not a huge issue. We really haven't had a lot of plague advancements here, which has been interesting. That's fine, not complaining. Okay, so let's launch. Let's see if we can get ourselves a bloody gauntlet. Elimination test here. Just keep our cards for now. Thank you. Okay, 2 successes. See, if we got 1 success, we'd pass. We wouldn't have trust regen impaired. But 2 successes, we actually gain a card to our hand, the rally order. Alright, we've got Dust Storm. And there's our target. So, let's start with some fun stuff, shall we? We've got 4 trust. We're going to drop a laser bot because I love them, and we kind of really want to get rid of this bruiser here as fast as possible. So I will use a flinch on the bruiser and a shove on the bruiser, and I reckon that's gonna. Didn't stun him, but it'd be yeah. See. They're pretty nasty, so they can do a bunch of attacks with stun, which is exactly what they've done. So let's keep working. Fantastic. What do we got? Laser bot, first aid. Really want to make sure we hit that bruiser, but I don't have any orders. I can't remember. He's not the lowest HP, so I don't think anyone's going to hit him for that case. But yeah, I should add a button so you can see what the auto targeting assignments would be. Would be pretty handy. Drop that rally down for the moment. Punch drunk is slow, so that's not going to help. Oh, get out of here. Someone hit that bruiser. No! Oh, 1 HP, is that all? Can you hit the bruiser, please? Alright. Oh. Parry. Parry's not bad. Yeah, let's do a parry. And let's go. Miss, miss, miss. Yeah, so... Great. So the parry deflected, the bruiser's attack killed itself. Fantastic. Good, 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 good. Bit of a shame to lose my bodyguard there. These things happen. I think we'll be probably fine with the rest of this though. Yeah, there we go. The commanders themselves, they don't do a lot of damage. They're more for inspiring the other enemy. Oh, that said. There we go. There we go. That's it. That's it. Fantastic. Oh yeah, and he got his passive. So once you reach a certain level, once you reach level 4, you get these passive abilities. They all work in different ways. They're quite varied. So rage, for instance, if a character with a rage passive gets hit, each time they take damage, they can stack up rage tokens, and then there's a chance when they attack that they will expend all of those tokens for a big damage boost. The engineer got Sapper, deals damage. I think it technically counts as melee damage. I'm not sure, but if a bot gets destroyed, then it deals damage to whoever destroyed it. All right, I'm just going to equip this. Who have we got? So we're going to have to drop a guardian into play. So I think we can also equip the bloody gauntlet. Yeah, the spiked glove, auto attacks gain a chance to inflict hemorrhage. So we're going to drop that on the fencer as well. So now they're looking pretty good. Heals and bleeds from auto attacks. And then So great, if I can get in combination with the Opportunist card next to a Guardian that's playing over here, then the Guardian's going to be drawing attacks on itself. Opportunist is going to trigger off those attacks, and it's going to generate auto attacks by the fencer. So those attacks that are triggering the attacks of opportunity are going to generate healing for the fencer and have a chance to apply bleed to the target. So that's a great combo when you can get things like that set up. Star map, I reckon we're kind of getting pretty close. I'm hoping that there's is there a black market? Yeah, we go. Black market. What do we got? What do we got? Oh, laser eye surgery or a skeleton. Exoskeleton. It's tough. It's tough. I kind of want the exoskeleton to dump on my Guardian to give them extra defense. I kind of want the laser surgery to dump on the yeah, I'm going to grab that. I'm going to put it on the engineer Tran. So we're going to equip this laser eye surgery. Needs a little slot, which is literally laser eyes. So, which, whenever at the end of every round, when it gets to the auto attack, they get a free attack with their eyes. It doesn't matter what else they've done that turn, they just get a free. It's not a huge amount of damage, but it is just a nice little constant bit of damage pinging away there. Cannot be unequipped. Fair enough. Alright, so let's exit. Let's go look at a star map. Here we are. We've made it to the end. This is our node, our final target. I know it's not particularly well indicated, but let's jump in there. So let's travel. Pay our wages. Space rock, we didn't get any plague advancements, which was interesting, but a lot of rocks. Okay. So let's deploy a crew. Let's just, because I'm not showing stars there. What have we got? Second chance. Second chance. Alright, either of those Guardians both have the same passive, so we'll drop them on. Rasmussen. Good. And we'll go like that. So here we are. The node device glows blue with Cherenkov radiation. Strange creatures are clustered around it, feeding off the ceaseless stream of hard energy. You will need to fend them off while at the same time finding some way to repair the leak. Good luck. So in this combat we have an enemy, this parasite creature here. We also have some environmental stuff. The network node, as it's called, is leaking radiation, and we're going to take damage from that every round unless we can repair it using this repair node order here. And this order is kind of different to every other one that we've seen so far, in that you choose who can play it, and you choose what you want to do with it. So we can choose like intelligence test or strength test. Got any intelligence to put in there? So we could say I want to test intelligence, and Spears has 7 stars, 7 dice rolls for intelligence. I'm trying to get 3 successes, so I'm going to drop that in there. I'm just going to say yeah, go like that and start a round. Ouch. So I was able to repair. Oh, good. There we go. So the bloody gauntlet triggered. We dropped a bleed status on the parasite. Just, yeah, like QOL stuff. We'll be adding in particle effects and status indicators and stuff for the bleed. It's all on the roadmap. So parasite is getting strength for 2 HP. So they actually they heal themselves, which means the bleeds do get removed, but they do a bit of extra damage before that happens. If I can successfully repair one of this node things, it is going to deal damage. I will have to sacrifice a card to do that. I might sacrifice the repair bot because the repair swarm is just sort of a big straight up heal. So that's good. So we'll go with that. Some more auto attacks, and then if I can at least repair one of these things. There we go. That's going to deal some damage, and we're going to take a bit less damage each round from the radiation. So there we go. Lasers blast forth from spears as ocular implants. So that's our laser eye surgery triggering. Fantastic, very handy, and we're really kicking some parasite butt. So let's see if we can drop a stun on that thing. Why not? Drop a bot down somewhere. Let's go. Let's go. Easy. There we go. Fantastic. Great. Everyone still takes a bit of damage. Yeah, it is possible to beat the mission but die. Still from the radiation. So here we go. With the creature defeated, your team are finally able to inspect the strange device. After a couple of hours experimentation, they identify a communications channel and soon are able to link it directly to the Stormy Chauffeur of Sequence. That's my ship, in case you've forgotten. Get some garbage. Introduce yourself, why not? Be warned, Youngblood Galactic Center has fallen. Moving to periphery, request aid. Our scans indicate you've infected with the plague mechanical. So we're being offered something to deal with our plague infection. It didn't bother us too much this time, but that's just luck. We're lucky that the deck got sort of built that way, and we didn't end up generating a lot of plague as we went along. So, but in terms of the gameplay, what this means is that as you go through the game, you're going to be offered sort of medical interventions, and these will also be upgrades to your ship or yourself as a character, as the captain of the ship, that can affect how the game is played. And they might offer you the ability to permanently kind of boost some stat during missions, or one thing we've been discussing is trading off like characters, if using your crew, kind of draining their stats to heal your plague or something like that. You're not really supposed to be a nice guy, so that kind of vibes. Or it will limit who you can hire, or make it possible to hire other kinds of crew, or even ones that let you combine crew members in make new crew members out of them, and all sorts of different stuff. So, but that stuff's not in the demo, so I don't want to talk too much about it. All right, the comms channel is suddenly flooded with a massive data transfer. All information required to perform the procedure is being uploaded to the ship's computer and medical systems. In the meantime, you lock in the coordinates for the designated cluster and send the crew to the hibernation pods. As the engines spin up, the transfer completes. Soon the automated surgeons will arrive and the operations will begin. So, were this the full game, that would be essentially Act 1 of this scenario, and with this complete, you can move on to Act 2 of the scenario. New locations, new enemies, new technologies, etc., etc. And then as you play, ideally, you gain points in things, you do stuff, you unlock new scenarios to play outside of that, or you unlock new backgrounds and new origins and ways to play this scenario from different beginnings. It's 1:30 now my time, which is pretty much my stream up, so I won't go into the other background option where you start with some bodyguards and an engineer, but there we go. So thanks so much for hanging on there, everybody who did stay around. Enjoy NextFest and watching all the different games and trying everything out, and have a great Friday and a great weekend. Thank you very much. This is Evan Sparks from Chironix Studios saying ciao.